What is going on, good people? Have you ever wondered how late into the fall you can seed for your cool season lawn? Well, it's time for another test / experiment to figure it out for my specific area. And of course, this is going to be very weather dependent, but we're going to test it out this year and see how it does. Follow along in this video. We're going to get this ground prepped and get some seed on it. It's very similar to what I would do for any other seeding project. All right, let's get into it. I will not be using a herbicide in here because this is my garden. So I'll come in and just hand pull all of the stuff that you see here. It will not be perfect because you know, some of these weeds and stuff are gonna come back in here, but it's gonna serve the purpose of seeing when it comes up, does it establish, and can we have a cover crop this winter? Now we're on to the seeding process. So this is a seed that I have never used before. Of course, you know it is from Mountain View Seed. I picked it up at Newsom Seed. It is a perennial rye blend with 3 different Mountain View Seed cultivars in it. Only one lateral spread cultivar in here. With that being said, I'm actually going to go at the 10 pounds per 1,000 rate. Being that there's not that many lateral spread type cultivars in here. So we're gonna weigh out how much seed we need. I made the measurements on what size bed this is. So it's just pretty simple. Let's do length times width. That gives you your square footage. I'm at 68 square feet, pretty small. So to figure out how much seed I need to use, so I just convert that 68 square foot divided by 1,000. That gives me 0.068. And then I multiply that times 10 because I'm going at a 10 pound per 1,000 rate. And that gives me how much seed that I need. And it's basically just under a pound. So I'll weigh out a pound of seed and put it in here, spread it out evenly across there. I'm just gonna use my little Scott battery operated whiz here from the big box store. And you know, the final step is gonna be putting the seed in the soil. You wanna make sure you incorporate the seed in the soil. I feel like this is one of the most important steps that you need to do in this process. I also have heard a lot of people say, well, Cam, I've got a bigger yard. I can't use this small little garden weasel on a 10,000 square foot yard, but I'm doing a bare ground seeding. Cam, this is just not realistic. So I heard you and I figured something out for you. So I have a video that is going to be coming out on a process that I used to incorporate the seed into the soil, not using a garden weasel, which would be perfect for a larger area. And the best thing about it is most of you probably already have this tool in your garage. So I have trialed it. I also sent it over to my man Turf over at Turf Therapy, explained it to him. He tried it on his renovation and he's like, Cam, you're on to something. The germination and the coverage in this thing is immaculate. So I will be dropping a video on that. It might be a little collab with Turf, so we'll see. Stick around, make sure you watch out for that video. I try to listen to the concerns that you all have and come up with solutions that I may already know or that I go figure out, just like this one. So that video will be coming soon. All right, let's get this thing seeded. This is the fun part, the easiest part. Hard part is done once you get to this point. And we'll get this taken care of and then get some water on it. So we are now about 16 days after doing the seeding and we have germination. Barely, but we've got germination. So there has been a very vast difference in germination time from when I did my other ryegrass test plot to actually doing this one. So soil temps, huge difference. Right after I put the seed down, we actually got our first frost a couple of days after that, and nighttime temps have been low. So right now soil temps in the sunny area over here are about 50 degrees, and over here in the shade it's actually down to about 48 degrees. So the soil temps are definitely not optimal, but we did get germination and we do have growth, especially in the sunny area. So you can see the sun is much lower in the sky now in the fall, and a portion of this barely gets any sunlight, but then you have this area down here that gets pretty decent sunlight. So you can see the growth that we're getting out of that with the additional sunlight and warmer soil temps. So there is a line of when you're not going to get germination and you're not going to be able to get good growth when you're doing your seeding. So from what I've realized out of this, soil temps is key. With that, it took about 4 days when I did my test plot to get germination. We were looking at like between 13 and 14 days before I even got germination back here. I mean, I kept it watered, same thing. We actually got some rain a couple of days in there, so that typically normally helps germination to occur. But with the lower soil temps, it just took longer. So today's date is the 24th. I think today is Sunday the 24th. So we are late into November and we've had 2 frosts already. This was probably before we actually got germination on here. So going forward, what I'll be doing is if I do see a frost coming, I am going to cover this because I do want it to grow. So with it being so young, fresh after germination, I don't want it to get hit with the frost right now. So we'll continue to nurse this along. Sometimes if you've got to come out and do a late seeding, even with ryegrass, I mean, ryegrass typically comes up pretty quick, is known to have quick germination, known to be able to come up in those cooler temperatures. But I think even on this one, we were walking the line of what ryegrass was capable of doing. It did come up. We do have germination, so we'll work on the growth and the establishment phase. I'll keep bringing you all some updates and everything, but as a whole, the later you go into these later months, the slower and the longer it's going to take for your germination. So I think I will be able to nurse it along to be able to get it established. So all right, y'all, that's going to wrap it up for this one. And as I always say, just know we work.